Education. It's been a pretty big part of our lives, our whole lives. But what was it like during the 19th century, from about 1840 to the 1900s? The steps taken for public education in the 1840s to 1900s led to the drastic modernizations that we see through buildings, games, and even protesters protesting the rights of students and teachers. Let's find out how. The first school in America, as well as one of the first schools ever, is the Boston Latin School, which was founded April 23, 1635, by the town of Boston. The curriculum taught here focused on encouraging children to challenge accepted norms and think of their own ideas. This is a concept Boston Latin School currently teaches with a much more modern look. You might be wondering why this is important. Well, let's just say it inspired tons of others like the founders of the Boston Latin School to value public education. That influence was huge. One-room schoolhouses began popping up all over the country. Public education was starting to become recognized nationwide. Without the encouragement of public education from the earliest schools, who knows if it would have been developed further. The earliest one-room schoolhouses included one teacher, one room, and often several kids of all ages, from 1st grade to 8th grade. Well, we know education started to grow in the 17th century, but as for Wisconsin, we ran a little bit late. Our journey with education did not really begin until the 1840s. I'd say we should give all the credit to this guy, Michael Frank. He was a member of the Wisconsin Territorial Legislature. He introduced 3 bills authorizing the establishment of a public school system in Wisconsin in 1843, 1844, and 1845. Talk about persistence. He was defeated for his desire of a statewide system, but after his bill passed in April 1845 to create a free public school supported by property taxes in Southport, which we now know as Kenosha, the first school in Wisconsin was built. This free public education system was the model that Wisconsin needed to push it toward acceptance of a statewide public education system. Article X of the Wisconsin Constitution, adopted in 1848, provided for free public district schools for all children between the ages of 4 and 20, required local taxes for school support, provided for a school fund and distribution of the fund on the basis of the school population, and provided for a state superintendent. Michael Frank was enlisted to codify the school laws, and Wisconsin's free public school system was introduced in 1849. So what does that mean for high school? Michael Frank was also instrumental in establishing the first free public high school in Wisconsin, which was opened in Southport in 1849. Generally, education for those students who wished to attend a university was provided by private academies. The movement towards providing public education from elementary through university gained steam after Southport, and by 1856, 11 more high schools were established at other sites in the state. However, it wasn't until 1875 that a free high school law was actually passed. Despite the fact that so many Wisconsin people were interested in the education of their children, many kids did not attend school. According to an 1873 report on truancy and attendance, between 40 and 50,000 Wisconsin children did not attend school at all in 1870. You might find yourself relating, but thanks to them, the first compulsory attendance law was passed in 1879. You might be wondering why this all matters. Well, if it weren't for the changes made at this time period, you probably wouldn't be sitting here right now listening to my nasally congested voice. I know that doesn't seem important to you or anything, but we need to realize that we are amongst the most privileged people in all of the world thanks to the changes made at this time period. We are given the opportunity every day to educate ourselves, and education is power.